Welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown, episode 140, where Tato is destroying my house, and we are going to cover our 2,000th campaign this episode. We have covered 2,000 campaigns over 140 episodes, and none of them have been accurate. Surprise! I pretend to read through the rulebooks, but really, I've been photoshopping them all along. I've made 2,000 games, and all of you have never noticed, because things change in development. Things change in development in Kickstarter. Why aren't the rules the same as Chris? You forget. I don't care. I've been making them up this whole time. If they sounded good, well, you have me to thank for that. That's why every game you've received has played like a souped-up version of Candyland. You're welcome for exciting you and then disappointing you. Title of my sex tape. I'm excited to cover our 2000th campaign, and we're going to cover a few more than that because it's a big week. I got a lot of tabs open as per usual. But before we get into it, I do want to thank my newest patron, Zachary. Thank you so much for jumping on board, supporting the channel. Thank you to everybody, all of my Patreon supporters, everybody who watches the channel, likes, subscribes. You all are fantastic. Really, really, truly. You all are. I love spending time with you every Monday and looking at all the games that we will never buy, that we will succumb to FOMO for, or to fight the FOMO. And so I am really, really appreciative of everybody who supports. A couple bucks goes a long way, goes a long, long way, and enables me to maybe one day only have one job, which would be great. It would be great. Until then, we have 2 a.m. So let's get into it. And speaking of FOMO, for mayor, this is why you must keep working. You must keep working on your craft. Speaking of FOMO, get that FOMO. Get back FOMO, or you can back for more. You can back your FOMO, or you can have the FOMO get back. Who knows what we're gonna do? No, I'm just kidding. We're not. I don't know what this is. 6 people have backed it though, so. They're Fomorian and Demon miniatures. I just thought there was a FOMO pun there, and, well, I didn't deliver on it. That's what you can expect from the next 2,000. Just like Mythic Games, I don't deliver. Unless, like Mythic Games, you sign up for my only feed. Those who... Mythic Games, did you know that Mythic Games started an only feed? They needed to raise money somehow to get it to you. No, let's look at this thing. It's Conclave. This is actually finishing today. I was thinking about cutting it, honestly. But I'm not. This is 1990, campaign 1990, and let's check this out. It looks like there's enough of a game here, and we'll see if it's any good. That was like 3 different commercials for 3 different games, and somehow it's the same one. Well, I mean, hey, there are 3 different games, so they just did 3 different games. I'm confused. What is Conclave? Yes, it's a pure card-based strategy tabletop game, even though they showed a chessboard that'll allow you to engage in a match anywhere you choose. There's psychological warfare. Each player devises their own exclusive strategy to defeat their opponent. There's no need to hold back. Don't hesitate to use your wit, as this game is filled with mutual deception. Great. So what is Conclave? Garbage. Nothing. It's a game. That's what you could have said. You need to tell me more than that. It's easy to play and hard to master. We're having an easy to play, hard to master deathmatch happening right now in the Room and Board Discord, although that will soon end. What's included? Resource cards. Great. It's a deck of cards for some reason. Who knows? Event cards. Okay. We need to know how to play. Here's the initial setup at the beginning of the game. We've used numbers to designate the different areas for ease of understanding. Yes. Or a playmat. Discard pile. Great. Resource card area. Cool. Event card area. Event cards that players will contend for each round. Glory card deck. Glory! Should I put myself here so I'm looking at it? Nah. I mean, I could move my computer, but it seems like a lot of work. Identity area. Strife area. Achievement area. Oof. Okay, let's get to the game. You're going to draw a card from the resource deck. You're going to place it face up in front of you. Okay. You're going to flip over an event card. That's the round's conflict. Okay. Play any number of face-down resource cards from your hand into the strife area. Okay, so you win the event card if you play the highest number of cards. So there's some information, there's some hidden information. You can play any number of cards. Are you doing it simultaneously? Then you draw 1 card into your hand. If it's already full, you skip the phase. Repeat phases 1 through 5 until the player's total event card score equals 15. That player wins the game. This sounds, unfortunately, completely not fun. I don't know how else to put it, unfortunately. Apologies to Conclave team. So you do have character cards. You do have some asymmetric powers. That's a little bit better. You have resources. Do they have a ability? No. faction indicates the faction that has control over the resource cards, so you can only play certain cards because you're all drawing from the main deck, and so you might draw cards that don't matter, maybe. Ability cards are supplementary to character cards. Nope, there's nothing more. Well, there you go. We know the whole game. Certainly not for me, but hey, not everything is. What's shipping like, and how much are you? Starter edition for €20, and so €25. 26 euro, so like 36. At least like the price is fine for a card game on Kickstarter, but I don't think it's that interesting. That finishes today at 12 p.m. if you want to rush to get it though. Moving along, we've got the Eye of Zamrock Invasion. Eye of Zamrock Invasion is a competitive epic fantasy board game with elements of strategy, adventure, city building, and resource management. To win, your kingdom must balance the pursuit of personal ambition against the need to cooperate with other players to achieve a common goal. Fighting off the demon invasion. 54 army minis. Let's check it out. Hey, that's me. Does everybody see my funny thumbnail? Revive. Okay. Yeah, this one looked interesting. It looked interesting. They had contacted me, and I was too busy to review the whole thing. But of course, that's what Crowdfunding Countdown is for. 1 hour per player. So if you're playing 6 players, buckle up. I like this. I like the concept of this, and I think the selling point is what they're putting forward in the trailer and the rules is that you may not win. You can be completely selfish and make everybody else stop the demon invasion and hopefully win through a bunch of points, but everybody's going to get a bunch of points either way. So I like that you can really contribute to stopping the demon horde, or you cannot, and I think that would be funny. I also friggin' love the gameplay is right at the top. Like, shout out to Eye of Zamrock, or Zamrock. Nope, Zamrock. I thought it was Rook over there for a second. Gain kingdom influence by performing 5 different repeatable actions. Trade, build, battle, quest, and colonize. The kingdom influence enables players to construct the 3 levels of the Crystal Tower. When one kingdom completes construction, raising their tower to level 3, the demon portal will close, and the relentless demon invasion will be halted. And while the Crystal Tower has great power, if all players fail to complete their tower by a certain turn, the Demon King L'Oreal will emerge from the portal and break the world. Oh, if all players... Okay, so everybody has to complete their tower. I don't want to complete my tower. I'm sure it's a core mechanic of the game, but like whenever a game tells me I have to do something, and it's not like a race to do that, it's just, no, you got to do it, but you have to win another way, but you have to do it. Less enthusiastic. Building the Crystal Tower doesn't ensure you victory. Well, of course, if everybody has to do it, why would it? Oh, unless if all players fail to complete their tower. So I think if one player fails. I hope it's if one player, right? I hope everybody doesn't have to do it. This is why the rulebook exists, because there's already questions. Do different stuff to win. Walk a tightrope between your relationships with other players and your ulterior motives to rule the Eye of Zamrock in order to obtain the most victory points. Choose one kingdom, one hero. Kingdom and hero special abilities. Nice. Demons emerge from their portal, as they do. Randomized movement, manipulated by player count. Cool. Encourages versatility. I like when a game focuses on that. Oh, we're still going. The invasion gameplay is divided into turns, action, economy, and kingdom. You can do the 5 actions to get kingdom points. You can activate resolve quests, colonize territories, trade with traveling merchants, battle demons, special creatures, build or raise sites. The real thrill occurs at the end of the action phase. Oof. They roll 2 dice. First the kingdom dice, and the second is the color dice. Feature symbols which reveal the demon lane, invading the demons. So just, mitigating where the demons go. Sometimes only a single demon will advance. Other times, every demon will advance. It's replayable, you see? See? Replayable. We promise you can replay this. We promise you don't only have to play this once. Thank goodness. Economy phase. Players could perform the following actions. Gain resources found on sites. Buy or sell resources on the market. Okay, there's a little market phase. Buy crystals needed to complete the tower. So there's a little market phase here. I'll be interested to see how that economy actually works. And then the kingdom phase, where you can only choose one. Okay, so you can build or upgrade a building, build a crystal tower, acquire quest location, recruit army, heal the hero, or collect taxes. Cool. I like you can only do one. Replayable. You won't be able to do them all in each different order. That's like 6 factorial. Rulebook. Give me that. Only 21. That's pretty good. Oh, you tricky trickster. Oh, I hate when they're split like this. It's so hard to read. Yeah, not completing a full crystal tower by the end of turn 20. I like that because you can hold each other hostage, essentially. Okay, here's the marketplace. You can only produce up to 3 resources. To progress through the game, you'll need to obtain the other 3 by either trading on the marketplace or interacting with traveling merchants. Global market stands in the upper right corner of the game board. Yeah, okay. The white zone, where they're sold for 3, 4, and 5 coins. Okay, the yellow zone, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it's green. Sorry. Is that green? I think it's yellow. So I guess they kind of tick down. Oh, okay. Players can sell, place the amount of resources as well as buy in a turn depending on their level of the kingdom market building. So you just choose what you're going to buy in for how much, it seems. Cool. Okay, so you see the little red outline under that wood that shows that the Red Kingdom owns the wood. And so if you want to buy it, you're going to interact with them a little bit. I think that's interesting. Oh, I love this in the rule book. I love when rule books do this. You put the side as a little bit of a reference. You have more important things and more detailed things on the inside, but on the reference point, you can just have that to flip through, essentially. Right, production. Gain resource produced on your sites. And then you say each player the resources produced on sites they've built. As a kingdom, you can only have a total of 3 sites. You can only gain a maximum of 3 resources per economy phase. You're in the economy phase right now. Here's the special abilities on page 16. That's cool. Seemingly fun abilities. Doesn't feel massively game-breaking. I'd say like a 3 out of 10 in terms of asymmetry. Just like little tweaks, maybe 2. Okay, so these influences basically just mark the actions. It says you're going to be gaining influence, but they essentially just mark the actions that you're doing. You can only do each action 5 times. After 7 turns, you can start constructing the Crystal Tower. Seems like quite a decent amount of restrictions in place of what you can do when. I don't think it'll feel that way, but it's kind of worth flagging. Man, this is a long one, though. I gotta move on. This is the only second one here. I like that the choice is you're really going to have to stretch out what you can upgrade in terms of your building. That seems rightfully limiting. I just don't know how the fighting is going to feel fun. Each demon only has 1 health. They'll roll dice depending on their stack. There's going to be a bunch of stacks of demons that kind of stack up against each other. And so to swarm and create one transformer demon that is going to chase you around, and you got to chip things off and send it back through the gates of hell. But you gain battle points for every defeated lesser demon, and when you get 5, it resets to 0, and you get 1 battle kingdom influence. What does that mean? I don't know. Oh, I think it's just influence, but they're calling it battle kingdom influence, which is over here, which is different than metals. And then we have the battle board over here. Possible setups of demons and demon lords, heroes and armies. The positioning matters for taking damage, not really for dealing damage, although I'm sure your heroes have something to do with it. This is how you're going to fight demons, this little battle mat on the side. You can kind of splay people out and use your heroes. Then as well, when the Crystal Tower is built, you have a victory tournament where you just have a chance to fight each other for points. Oh, right, here's how you get EOZ medal. Gaining influence, building the tower, resolving quests. Kingdom Rising, so kingdom influence. Fighting special creatures, fighting destroying demon lords. Winning battles in the victory of tournaments, the tournament victory. Alright. I don't know how I feel about this one. It's a lot to process. It really is a lot to process. I'm glad that they led with all of this, but even still, it makes it pretty tough to absorb. It's €89, 135 Canadian. That's about what I would expect it to be. It really is this, combining our favorite mechanics into one epic game. It is a lot going on. You can fight, you can do military, you can deal with the marketplace. It feels very ambitious, and I'm not completely sold. It feels a bit like Silver Coin, Age of Monster Hunters did, and then when I played that, some of the parts felt a little less flesh than others. I do think these minis are fun. I think the price is right. I like that these demon minis can stack. I don't mind the battles. It feels weird that you can only like lock down 3 places. Oh, I love this though. Click here to take a look through our deck and explore all the cards. Sweet. I will say this, they're doing everything that they can to make this accessible, like to make all of this content accessible and not just hide behind a generic breakdown. They're like, nah, you can look at every single card. Here are the Kingdom cards, the Demon Lord cards, the abilities, like what's going to get flipped up. There's so much knowledge you can get here. Boom, boom, boom. Like a demon head. Gets you. Well, okay, I can't really read that. To acquire the dance, become one of a demon in front of you. Pretty close. Open with Google Docs. Okay, you can open with Google Docs and go in a little bit closer. The territory cards, like, that's great. Really, really nice. I feel like this is a game whose scope is exciting, but also that it's going to get ahead of themselves a little bit too much. I think the reason why it isn't doing that well is because it's like, yeah, you know what? It's a 6-hour game. But, you know, it's funded. It's raised €31, 31,000 euros. I only assume they're not making any money on this. I'm almost certain they're not. If you like very complex sandboxes, then maybe check this out. It feels a bit too many moving parts for me personally, and I like complex games. So I don't know what that tells you. But if you're interested in that, that does finish tomorrow, the 4th at 8 a.m. So check that out. We got to move along because I was reading through that for ages, and I still feel like I grasped maybe 55% of it. They did reach out to me. They were like, listen, next time we're going to do playthroughs. We're going to have playthroughs so that people can see what's going on. I said, yeah, that's probably a good idea. But let's see what this is. I mean, 56 backers have raised $4,500, almost 100 each. Is this a real thing? I don't know. Escape Deathrace 2182 LS board game. A tile-placing race car-themed dungeon crawl board game. Cool. For 1 to 4 players set in the cyber-tech 22nd century. Okay, this kind of looks interesting. A little dungeon crawler where you're flipping up new sections of tile and you're trying to fight some bosses. Oh, there's an original mint tin pocket-sized version, so it's just a larger version. Okay. Draw and place road tiles to create your path to victory, or place hazards and treacherous terrain to block your opponent's path. I like that you can go in different directions. Play weapon drops and power cards. Deploy landmines, all that bunch of stuff. Defeat all 3 bosses and any other players left standing, and make it to the rescue helicopter. So basically just kill your friends first. Read the rulebook, yeah. So draw cards from the road deck stack. It's going to be 1 to 4. You're extending the road. You can put a bunch of stuff on it, and you can play power card. I just don't see why you would ever fight any bosses if all you need to do is kill everybody. Unless you need people in order to fight the bosses for you. So that then you could swoop in at the end and like third man them. I like that you can drop a bomb and then run into a dead end and turn around and have to blow yourself up. I do think that's funny. Battle doesn't seem that interesting though. You just roll dice at each other. But you can drive by them. Okay, you can't move off of a death turret battle or a boss battle until that boss is defeated. Collect any of the used weapon cards and draw a power card for defeating a boss. So you get more strength. Yeah, it just seems like that endgame trigger seems a bit pointless to me. If you have to kill the bosses to leave and kill each other, there's no point to kill the bosses. And then one person just solos the game. I like it as an idea. Maybe $20 for the mini version might be okay. I don't think you need a large one. Plus, it's 16 US, 27 Canadian in shipping. Oof. That's a big one. I don't think it looks that good. But if you think it looks cool, well, then it finishes Tuesday, June 4th at 12 p.m. Moving along to, I don't know what this is, but it's raised so much money. Oshi Push, the VTuber trading card game. A trading card game featuring actual VTubers from the maker of Tanto Cuore and game designer Justin Gary. Oshi Push. What is a VTuber? That's the real thing. It's a virtual YouTuber, an online entertainer who uses a virtual avatar generated by computer graphics. Wow. Oh, wait, I could be saving my expressions this whole time? I could just have a little graphic pop up and I could just do a voice for them?
No, you need
that
the
seems
real
like it,
thing, the real thing. It's better to have a real person.
Yeah, that seems,
and not just somebody else.
No.
It's bad.
Yeah, that seems like it would be bad.
Yeah, it would be naughty.
Depending on the graphic.
Oh no, I like the real deal.
Oh, I bet this is just horrible. Ugh, this is triggering. This is a triggering game for me. It looks like just a very simple Air, Land, and Sea style game, Marvel Snap style game. Ugh, to $30, $40 Canadian plus shipping, you're gonna get 2 decks. What's shipping even like? $15. You're trying to capture the platform's popularity. Well, it must be pretty popular because all of these VTubers have clearly sent their people over to go buy it. Not me. I'm going to encourage you to buy a good game. And this doesn't look like one. Why don't you just buy Air, Land, and Sea for $20 and you'll get the same experience, or play Marvel Snap until you don't have any thumbs anymore. Anyway, that finishes Wednesday, June 5th at 2 p.m. At least we don't have to really worry about that one too much. Next up, we have Dark Omen. Tired of your average dungeon crawler? Yes. Add something different to your collection for a change. Okay. Join a band of misfits to take on a great evil in a dark Nordic past. Let's see what this is all about. Alright, so this says it's going to play in 180 minutes. Oh man, all in is €160. What's the core? €120. You gotta be good for that. Their whole shtick, essentially, is Well, you have to complete all 4 chapters of a randomly shuffled storyline without dying too much. As you create your character in a dexterity-driven tournament, it's time to ask the gods for their favor. Each player throws the mystical runes to determine their handicap, so you roll dice. You pick an Omen card, thematic flavor, set up the board, obstacle throw. The mission describes your quest, gives you the details on how you need to complete it. The whole shtick here is this like sliding board, which lays out the pathways before you. And I like that as a shtick because I thought that looked cool in Weirdwood Manor when that was around. And so I think this looks like an effective way to just mix up a map, which I think is pretty neat. But if that's the only shtick, then that doesn't really matter. Hack and slash through a variety of diverse creatures. Move across the map or do pretty much anything. You can spend 6 action points per round. No set turn order. Okay. So you move, boom, boom, boom. You can go back and forth. 4 rounds, your 24 action points. Or 24 hours, how convenient. Morale is a resource that you can spend. You need to have a lot of morale to do a bunch of stuff. Battle, you start it with 1d6, then you get 2d6 for the remaining chapters, okay. Then enemy creatures have dice, so you can't take on some by yourself. You attack each other. Compare your roll. The winner deals damage, which you can modify. Find food, craft potions, essentially. I mean, that's a pretty good breakdown. Do they not have a rulebook? Probably not. It seems very basic, though, which you might want in a dungeon crawler, right? You just might want a different map, an ease of setup. I don't know what these towns do. Must be different places. Oh, okay, I can see you can set up these towns and these places that you got to run through. Bunch of board game lovers who decided that making our own game would be a good idea. That's cool. I mean, I like that. I like people making their own stuff, but where's the rulebook? If there's no rulebook, I can only go on what we've seen in that it's very basic with your action points. Like, did they even tell us what action points you can do? And there's new locations. No more hiding in towns. I don't know how you would hide in towns. Shipping is also 20 to 25 euro for the core. Canada, 25 to 30. So, like, we're looking at over $200 here. Like, over $200 for this game. You could get a lot of different games. Oh, there is a rulebook. It's way at the rulebook. Not really, though. Oh, okay. This is our link to our work in progress rulebook. The fact that you almost didn't have one of these and then it's buried at the bottom is upsetting to me. All right, let's take a brief look at these. Oh, each of the dice match a card in the rune deck that you need to find and place in front of you. You find 4 cards. So these are your abilities, essentially, that you get. Must have multiples so that if people roll the same, they could get the same. Here's one thing that I do like. Player trading, costing you 0 action points. I think more games should do this. I think that just will encourage trading as opposed to never doing it. You're never going to spend an action trading. You really won't in most games. So I do like that. Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty simple, actually, in terms of as dungeon crawlers go. Its simplicity is probably the thing that you should glom onto. It's very simple. You have your person, you're running around, you're chucking dice, you're getting loot, right? It's a dungeon crawler in its essence. I don't know if you've never seen it before, because maybe you've never seen the rotation, but I think it is, in its essence, an average dungeon crawler. Tired of bland dungeon crawlers? I think this is the ordinary dungeon crawler that this is trying not to be. Although I do really, really appreciate, the more I think about it, the more I like this sort of circular system. That ease of setup is a huge thing, and being able to get dungeon crawlers to the table in an easy, manageable way, maybe that's interesting. So if it is, that finishes on the 5th. That's Wednesday at 5:59 p.m. Let's keep it moving. I think we can blaze through a few more of these. I'd like to get to 2,000 before I go to sleep, but I'm getting a bit tired, and it's been a couple hours. So we've had some long rule books, but let's check this one out. Oh, just kidding. Actually, we don't have to worry about this one because this one had a $1 pre-pledge. Yeah, pre-launch will automatically add this FOMO and this sunk cost fallacy to your pledge when the campaign's ended. Well, that's easy. That helps me get through it. We can focus on the games that earn their free advertising from me. And let's move on to let's move on to this one. Mercenaries of Gridaris. Conquer the land of Gridaris with ridiculous mercenaries. Hilarious strategic fantasy board game for all skill levels. Okay, I'm not quite sure about this one. Oh, that's cool. The designer also did all the art. Sweet. I like that. So there's a battle map, 2 boards, that makes 16 battlefields of Gridaris. This how to play section reads very much like a rulebook would read, which is nice. A lower complexity game can often get away with that, which is lovely. Objective: increase your final score by capturing and controlling strategically placed battlefields and, more importantly, high-ranking mercenaries. Take an empire from mix around. Okay, randomly select. Didn't need to read that. Stars are points. Those are your ranks. Okay, the numbers are the combat value, I guess, where it's placed and who you can beat. So this pointy little mop will always beat you when it stabs its little mop tip into you. Place any mercenary onto an empty battlefield. Make sure to place your empire tokens to show that you control it. Okay. Okay, cool. So even if you don't want to take over somebody's mercenary, like beat them, whenever you play a card, it'll stay there. So you can capture multiple things if you wanted, or whatever you place is also safe from capture. So chaining things together. Then you add up the star ranking on every mercenary you control. Easy. You can also score bonus points. Great for each sort of shape you make on the battlefield. 2 random scenarios in an advanced play. Changes the grid, revealing your hand. So just different variants on terms of how to play. Ah, dang. I wanted this to be in the $20 range, right? It's $35 US, which Canadian's $49. I understand because it is a really, like, he's really emphasized that he's an indie person, but then, oh no. Canada's also an additional $30, so it's $65 US, like $80 to get this game, which it's unfortunate. If this was from a larger company, this would probably be in like the $20 price range, you know, 15 to 20. So you got to be really passionate about it. I think it actually looks quite good. I think it might look the best out of anything we've looked at this week so far. I just wouldn't be interested in paying for it. I think it's as a quick, small little thing. And I think the reason why it hasn't reached its goal yet is because it is still expensive. But yeah, I think it actually could be fun. It delivers a little bit more than I was expecting it to. So like in a way that perks me up at, you know, late in the morning. So if you're interested in that, check it out. That finishes Thursday, June 6th at 9 a.m. I don't know if this will be too complicated for me, in which case I will go to bed. But we're going to try it out. We've got Dutch Resistance, Orange Shall Overcome, and Expansion, a cooperative scenario-based pick-up-and-deliver game for 1 to 5 players about resistance during the Second World War. I'm definitely intrigued. There's a lot here just thematically that is really interesting. One, the reminder that Nazis are bad, which again, some people seem to forget. 2, the creator's grandmother is a character in here in terms of leading the resistance and just trying to help liberate the Netherlands and standing up against oppression. That's cool. And so you've got this pick up and deliver aspect, which has a lot of stakes. It's something that is engaging, and you want to avoid all the patrols because they will slow you down, and then the resistance effort may not work if you keep on getting detained. Yeah, give me the rule book. This looks great. Base game only is going to be €60, 89 Canadian, plus €10 shipping, so $100. It's $100 for this thing. Okay. The goal of the game: complete scenarios, help end Nazi occupation in the Netherlands by weakening occupying forces, preparing the country for life after war. It's also a non-violent game, which is kind of cool. So each character has a track, there's a communal track, and you run out of cards. That's how you lose the game. Each scenario has a specific setup. I mean, like Zombicide only has 10 scenarios, really. 5 resource types: money, contacts, ration, documents, and information. Cost tokens are scenario-based, indicate which resources you need to resolve. Scenario actions: you always need to spend all the resources at the same time, so one person's got to have it. And then your alibi represents how much occupiers know about your personal resistance-related activities. So when resolving location-related activities, resolving cards, you'll drop down below. Okay, each location also has some safety as well, where you need to be at a certain safety rating in order to do stuff at it. And if you hit 0, it's kind of like Pandemic, a raid happens. The raids might find something, but they might not. You roll the dice to determine. Cool, okay. Safety you raise or lose applies to one location. If you use the farm's location action, you can raise safety by 5 at a location of choice. So it's all about managing these different tracks and resources. Seems like it would be decently satisfying. Oh, this is kind of cool. You draw 3 character cards and draw 1 occupier card. You keep this occupier in your hand together with the character cards hidden from other players. You may and should look at it yourself, but are not allowed to share anything about it. Cool. I wonder how those occupier cards are going to resolve. So, okay, then you resolve your occupier card after you resolve all your character cards. That doesn't seem as exciting as I was hoping. It just prevents somebody from alpha gaming because you have a little piece of knowledge and you say, well, I'm going to do it this way because of a reason. I guess it puts the agency really in the player instead of letting it alpha game. I suppose that's the alpha gaming deterrent. So you always have your same 3 character cards, though. Here are the actions you can sort of do. Raise the safety. Raise the safety of the current location. Gather information. Lower the safety and take information tokens. Location action. Spend stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of spending. I really see the pick up and deliver criteria on here. There's a lot of picking up and delivering and managing these tracks as well. I think this looks kind of neat. I don't know if I'd want to pay $100 for it, but I love the connection to the theme. I can see how the flow is going to work, and that feels satisfying of managing these ever-dwindling resources and trying to get to use them efficiently. Oh, and the occupiers are going to get placed on the road, too, because then you got to move around them. There's halt deck, so they'll stop you. You need to deal with the effects. Yeah, I think this looks kind of nice. Occupier cards represent what the occupied forces do. You're not allowed to discuss what's on your card. You have to make decisions without interacting about the card with other players. Cool, yeah, it is the alpha player deterrent, which I really like. Nice. Yeah, that one's pretty neat. I mean, it feels unique to me. I don't have any World War II games. It feels very simple, slick, and like a fun pick up and deliver with some resource management. So yeah, if that interests you, that finishes Thursday, June 6th at 10:05 a.m. Okay, let's move along quickly because I have played this game, so I can talk about it. I don't have to worry about it, and then I'm going to bed, and we'll figure out what $19.99 is coming in at. We have Ironwood here, which is a 2-player game. I have described this as it feeling like a 2-player Root, because the 2 factions are very asymmetric. You have the mining faction in the center who are going around and trying to mine out the resources in the Ironwood, and then you have the woodland creatures who are not actually protecting the wood. They want to come steal the wood, and they're moving in and trying to attack and destroy your homeland. See, is there a place for sections? So I'm going to have some, yeah, the woodwalkers or the ironclad. You're trying to build your forges, and then here you're trying to build your own totems. Ironwood pre-order, €50, 75 Canadian, sure, plus shipping. We expect to deliver it, so you get $10 off. I bet shipping is $10. Is it? Yep. Oh wait, it's more than that. Fantastic. So you have your base cards and your special cards. You always will get your base cards back. Your special cards are one-time use, and each card that you play will have an attack value, a defense value, and a flag value. Well, I forget what those are. Oh, right, a dominance. Dominance, I remember that. So it adds to the amount of people there. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 taking on 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? These little tokens. But this symbol, I don't think is actually a warrior. It's a different thing. It's a placement, so it's actually 5. So that's why the 6 move in and knock out the 5. They'll steal your gems, the friggin' jerks. And a lot of different abilities allow you to draw additional cards. So you'll play whatever cards you want to engage the enemy until your turn is over. Then you'll pass, and then you'll redraw your hand. So you're going to be playing these cards to do a bunch of stuff, especially because you can use the cards for battle, or you can use it as an action in this multi-card area. I thought it was fun. It didn't blow me away. It's not really my style of game, I don't think, but I really found the asymmetry to be predominant. I played as the Ironclad. You've all played as the forest people. And I did not get a sense of what the forest people were trying to do. I just know that they were annoying and kept on attacking me. And I kept on trying to eke out the ability to forge. The area control feels pretty tight. It almost felt very much like a deadlock for the 3 or 4 rounds that we played. Very little give happened either way. And I'd say Yuval and I are about the same skill in board gaming, so if you're playing with the similar skill, that potentially is likely to happen again. That's just based on my one attempt at it. But yeah, I like the asymmetry of the cards. I like that your unique deck, you never know what you're going to get, but you do have that consistent, those consistent 3 cards. And you get some cool holographic cards if you decide to back now. Yeah, as the Ironclad, you need to get 3 forges. They have a drill that runs around that helps you drill for stuff. As the Woodwalkers, you need to steal the totems. So basically, you need to fight the Ironclad and then bring it back to the outskirts. Oh, besides action effects, the Woodwalkers can also use their cards as a resource. Some of their actions become significantly more powerful if you discard, burn another card as an additional cost. So more hand management. I do feel a lot of that. There's like a lot of hitting and running. I don't know. I thought it was fine, but it's not something that I'm really that interested in getting. I think if Mind Clash reached out to me and said, hey, do you want this? I would probably say, not really. It just isn't my style of game. But if you really like Root, like I don't own Root, I'll enjoy and I'll play Root. Although Yuval owns Root, and I think he also thought it was fine. So I don't know. It feels very balanced, I'll say, and it feels like it is going to be that incremental gains and that chipping away and that sensation of chipping away. I think that does really hold true. So if you're interested in that, the pre-order finishes on the 6th at 12 p.m. That's Thursday the 6th at 12. Number 1999 is Good Dog Bad Zombie, a cooperative board game, 2nd edition. Bark, sniff, and lick your way through the apocalypse to save the humans you love. New art, new playable dogs, and upgraded components. We're going to cover this tomorrow. I'm going to bed because it's late. Okay, we're back with, it was instant for you. Look at that, you're a time-traveling wizard. I always knew it. We've got Good Bad Dog Zombie. That's it. Good Dog Bad Zombie, a cooperative board game, the 2nd edition. Bark, sniff, and lick your way through the apocalypse to save the humans you love. New art and playable dogs and upgraded components. You could play as your own dog. Well, that's a pretty cute theme. You want to herd 6 humans into Central Park so that they can give you cute little scratches, and you want to kill the zombies because humans are incompetent idiots, and they're the ones who brought the zombie apocalypse on in the first place, and they're going to die. $45 for the game, 62 Canadian. How to play, let's see. Cooperative tower defense, pick up and deliver. Yeah, you've got 12 playable dogs. Bandit, well, that's a cat name. Save Bandit! You protect the center of the board. So you have to protect the center of the board as well. Okay, so it doesn't just matter about getting your people to Central Park. Of course not, because they need to build a new home for you. You can do 2 actions. By using your base actions or by playing energy cards, you run through the city to reach friends or smells. You lick yourself or others to draw more energy cards. Nice. Sniff to find humans. Bark or herd to move pieces around the board. And chew the zombies, so basically attack them. Cool. As you play cards, you also howl to give energy to your pack, and zoom to chain together multiple actions in a mega churn. Chase the zombies into a river or off the cliffs. That's fair enough. So push them back. Yeah, there's 6 rows. The zombies will advance in one direction, and you run and you smack them down. Really huge tower defense with that little pick up and deliver element to it. Cool, cute. The more humans that get eaten, the more feral you become. That honestly felt like a pretty good example. I wonder how things are spawned. I'm interested to see the rulebook for that reasoning, but if it's not here, well, then it's not here. $7 shipping, so, $70 to get this game for me in Canada. Wow, and only $15 to get to play as your own dog? Will design, print, and send you a customized playable character card and standee of your own dog. That's so cute. I mean, you probably will have, all the same ability, but that doesn't matter. You get to play as your own dog. That's cute. For only $15? That's good. Or you can get all the expansions too. Yeah, I like that. I wish, there's some stuff going towards to support dogs as well. I'm disappointed there isn't a rulebook here. I feel this gives a pretty good example. The numbers on the locations are probably spawn locations or finding human locations. I don't know. I kind of want to know how you find locations, but I think this gives a pretty good sense about what this game will be. Action efficiency, push back the zombies, very simple. It's probably a bit too simple for me, but I think it's a pretty cute idea for sure. So if you're interested in that, that finishes Thursday, June 6th at 9 p.m. and we have reached it. We've reached our 2,000th campaign. If you've been watching since the beginning, you have seen 2,000 campaigns, probably over 2,000 board games, because some campaigns kind of crunch themselves together and I don't count them as 5, I count them as 1. But then also I do things like highlighting other creators or board game accessories. So I think it balances out. So 2,000 board games, we're going to say. And our 2,000th board game is next in line, finishing next in line. It's Rove. No, just kidding. You know what it isn't? I missed one. I missed one last week, and somebody pointed it out to me, and it's going to be, sorry, Rove, if you'd put the rulebook at the top of the page like this campaign for our 2,000th campaign. This is something I've been shouting at forever, is no campaign has ever put the rulebook at the top of the page. Not one in 2,000 campaigns. And it is with Frontier Games, their game Without a King, that has placed the rulebook at the top of the page. And honestly, I am so upset that I missed it last week when it was finishing. See, it's funded. It's already funded. I think because I was filming a little bit early, I didn't think that it was going to fund, or maybe it had just launched and I missed it in the launch window. But it is here now. I'm going to follow this so that I can make sure I am notified when the Pledge Manager opens, and you all should follow it as well, because the rulebook is at the very top of the page. And I've been saying this for 3 years now. Pretty much 3 years. Please, somebody put the rulebook at the top of the page. Somebody has to do it. The person who does it, I will back. I'm going to back Without a King. It is our 2,000th campaign. I don't even know if it's good or not. I don't care. To reward the rulebook at the top of the page, you have earned my money. I will put my money where my mouth is, and I am 100% backing this when it goes into late pledging. And I don't even care if I won't like it. If I don't like it, I'll send it to somebody else. We have an epic strategy conquest game, 260 resin pieces, Without a King, how to play. Let's check this out. Congratulations to Without a King for being our 2,000th campaign, and what a way to celebrate it than with the rulebook at the top. Imagine this wasn't a rulebook. Imagine it was, oh, well, it's just too large. It's too large because they wanted, just imagine if it I just wanted a picture. It was just like a weird GIF. Nobody's ever looked at it. But it is a rule book right at the top of the page. Shout out, honestly, to my patrons for pointing this out to me, because I absolutely would have missed it. And I can't tell you how devastated I would have been if I had missed this. If I had missed this. This is something that has not happened in 3 years. This is something, and I know, I've looked at all of them. Or, I mean, I've missed a couple, clearly. But there is no greater joy, and I can't give this any greater honor than putting this at number 2,000. Sorry, Rove, you did it naturally, but I don't care. I mean, we'll talk about Rove in a second, because I've played it and I know how to play, and it's a fun game. But Without a King, I am so friggin' thrilled. Without our king, what would we be without our king, without our king? The king of all kings, the best campaign that has ever existed. Number 2,000. This right here is a celebration, and I'm so stoked. Now, I will not be biased, but I'll be a little bit biased because I'm probably going to have to buy this. Well, I'm going to buy this because I said the first person who does it. That's what I'm going to do. The rulebook right there. Frontier Games. Oh, I could kiss you. I could just give you a little smooch. Mwah. Let's go. Let's see what this is all about. Oh god, I hope it's good. Oof. Punishing bids. Whatever you bid is lost. Okay, let's keep going with this 10-minute video. Combat is dice combat based, where you roll dice equal to the number of units you have, and you do a certain number to hit, and there's sort of advantage and disadvantage depending upon who you're fighting. So it kind of feels like a bit Fire Emblem-esque, which maybe is exciting. I don't know. Let's keep watching. I like how it said, next round. Thanks for watching. Okay, so this could be okay. I don't know if it's necessarily my style of game, but it's a little bit of area control, at least from what I've read. And I mean, I haven't even checked through the rulebook, so I can use this as our reference token. I don't know why they're doing resin pieces, because I feel like those will be more easily damageable. But what can you do? It's going to cost me like $200 to get this. So, but that's what putting, you know what? That's what putting the rulebook at the top of your page gets you. You're the first one to do it, and you've earned yourself $200 for nothing. For doing nothing. Well, no, not for doing nothing. For doing what no one else could do. I do like this concept that you're going to be bidding on the counselors that are out there, and they're all going to provide a different strategic bonus. So if you're going for one particular strategy or not, like everybody's going to get a unit, and everyone's going to get to do that thing, I think, judging by the video. But bidding on it gives you the flexibility of what's going to happen. You're going to be working to draw these Omen cards as well. Anytime you do something specific, you get to draw an Omen card, and you can use that to complete your own personal cult quest. And the person to get to a certain number of settlements wins. And so you're running around trying to destroy each other's settlements. It's a little bit of area control and tower defense. It's this sort of expansive kingdom explorer, kingdom builder. And this is how you choose your cult stuff. I like little asymmetric starting options. Yeah, I could get into this. I don't know if I would back it, but the rulebook is at the top of the page, so I'm gonna. Cool, so you're gonna have your own council, and they have the general council. Oh, okay, and it's the Advisor Council bonus benefits all players. So the General Council you can bribe to like swap things out. So you have the ability to swap things out, and then you have one that's like constantly up. But when you bribe, that's what I was talking about, is that whatever you bid is gone. So you can outbribe somebody by just like one coin and make them waste all of their coins, which feels so punishing and like so maddening around the table. Cool, then you can do a bunch of stuff. Attack, siege, volley, capture, raise. A lot of it is just moving your pieces around, getting next to buildings, and either destroying them with your units or rolling dice to fight each other. So you want to protect your units and roll hoping to hit. In your melee, you have to hit 4 or more. In a ranged attack, you have to hit 6, but they can't like counterattack you. So it's kind of worth it. And then a siege, you can hit less because you're throwing a big boulder at them and they need to run out of the way. Then you can build or you can recruit. Cool. Yeah, it seems pretty simple in terms of how you expand. I do like that you can make walls, but they're only like half walls. So if people loop around your wall and you're standing there with your bow and arrow, then they can just be like, meh, which I think is kind of funny. And then there's just flavor text. You know what? I don't hate it. I think the decision space might be a little basic. I think the joy might be with all these resin pieces, and I really wish that there was a standee edition, because I don't care about the minis. I would absolutely love the standees, but we've got this 258 resin pawns. Cool. Plus a first metal token and a premium rulebook. Honestly, I feel like I should just get that because of the premium rulebook. What does the premium rulebook do? What is this premium rulebook? Premium bound rulebook. The covers are made from cardstock. Who cares about this? Who would ever care about that? How is that an upgrade? I mean, like, and this is me. You saw how excited I got about the rulebook. I don't see how that's an upgrade. I would get a metal first player token, and you get a premium rulebook. What is this other rulebook going to be made out of? 258 resin playing pieces, yep, and a bunch of cardboard tokens, and a bunch of cards. I mean, maybe you're getting the value. There's a lot of minis there, so $109. I think if they'd done a standee, they might have sold it a bit better, but maybe not because everybody loves minis. Who knows? If you're interested in that, you can sign up. You can follow it over here. Only 83 backers. Oh, I hope this funds. I hope this is a real thing. Oh, no. But it has the rulebook at the top of the page, so you know what? I don't care. You've earned it. Even if it is a scam, I don't think it's a scam. I just think 83 people raising $16,000 is quite a lot. Well, on average, 192, right? So maybe we all went for the premium rulebook. Maybe that was it. But yeah, you can check that out. I've followed it, and when the pledge manager opens, that's the benefit of crowdfunding, is that the deadlines don't matter. You can go and you can back that. I will be backing it in honor of the first rule book in 2,000 campaigns being at the top of the page. Without our king, you deserve to be praised beyond eternity. And you know what? I think the gameplay looks like it could be fun. I don't think it's going to be that difficult, a decision space. I think there's going to be some fun little bidding at the beginning, and then you're going to be maneuvering your troops. I think you're going to get into maybe a little bit of king making if you're playing in a 4-player game where people attack each other, but it's always kind of that way in area control, right? You can't ever worry about that. You just do your best, and you hope you play with people who don't only target Chris, which I never play with, but there you go. Yeah, celebratory 2000 campaign. Among Cultists was our 1000th campaign, which I still have not played. But what do you think I play games? No, I just talk about them and say how expensive the shipping is. Let's move along to Rove. which is a cooperative campaign experience for 1 to 4 players set in a fantasy world on the brink of being consumed by nature. I have a playthrough of this with West, and I also did another video about this, comparing the 10 or so differences that I saw between this and Gloomhaven. This is created by the same people who made the Crimson Scales, which was the Gloomhaven fan-made expansion. And it's 99 bucks. Honestly, that's pretty good for campaign games at this point in time. It'll be 136 Canadian, 50 encounters, 5 rover-based classes that will evolve into an additional 10 prime, and finally Apex. Okay, there's 15 classes. Let's just call it 15 classes. So like Gloomhaven gives you 16. No difference there. Oh, cool. You can add minis if you want minis for your specific rovers. 26 unique figurines. But what? But there's only 15 over. Does that mean there's some special ones? I don't know. For all the rovers included in the core and expansion boxes. Oh, there you go. So there's an expansion box too, I guess. Expansion box 60, 10 new and master classes, 2 new quest chain. That's pretty decent. I would have wanted it to be 50, but 60 is fine. They do have the rulebook down here. You can look at it, but I can just... I mean, you can go watch these videos that I did. And the 10 differences of Gloomhaven, that's probably the better one to watch. Although, please go watch the end song of Rove in the playthrough, because it's very silly. What's shipping like? 25 bucks to US. It's going to be a big box. 35 to Canada. Yeah, it's on the higher end. Did they change this shipping? I know people were like, shipping is really expensive. Did they change it down? I don't know. I mean, it still feels very expensive to Australia and New Zealand. I feel like they must have changed it. Oh yeah, reduced international shipping estimates. There we go. What do you think about Rove? Tato? You like it? Do you like it? Do you like playing board games? You don't want to sit on my lap. Like most people, I ask. But some people do take me up on the offer, and that's always surprising. European backers by an average of 15. Wow. Okay, so it must have been 40. Yeah. Asia gets cut down. Africa, $20 cheaper. North American, get our Canadian price by 10. Great. On the Prime Rover and Paragon of Chorus pledges. Okay. So just going down. Large backers cut by 20 and include the VAT. So there you go. It was 70. Now it's 50. That's good. Okay, great. I'm glad that they could cut those shipping costs. Those feel like high, because yeah, looking at the shipping costs right now, they feel, you know, on the higher end for a big box game, but not unreasonable. My cats are being sweet, beautiful, precious angels. Oh, I can show you all that. I'll show you at the end. It's not board game related. I'll show you at the end. It's what I'm making for Renee for her birthday. It's a sign about my cats. Anyway, Rove was a fun time. I've just talked about outside information, but I think Rove was a legitimate fun time. I believe in the quote that I said. I've just done 2 videos on it, so I don't feel like I really need to talk about it more. But I do think it has a nice balance of exciting decisions while not overstaying its welcome. I think the scenarios feel like they're going to go by quickly. It's got a very Gloomhaven-esque flow, but different enough to play. You're moving around, you're attacking. You've got some tactics, but it doesn't feel overly complicated. And I love the flip book, and it feels like it'll be easy to get to the table and decently easy to learn. Like, it's like they took everything that was really fiddly about Gloomhaven that I hated, and they fixed it. You know? So that's pretty good. I think they took out a tiny little bit of the decisions, like the hand management element to it, because you're really wrestling with which cards you have to lose, and you just have to treat everything as sort of one-time abilities instead of cyclical abilities in Rove. I think that's maybe the main difference in terms of the gameplay loop, but I think it's really solid, and I think it is nice to have like a lighter campaign, which is what this feels like. But not light in the sense of like baby's first campaign. It's not Assassin's Creed, the board game, but it just feels like it would be easy to table and would be relaxing to do so. And at this point, that's the sort of thing that I'm looking for. Am I going to get a copy? I don't know. They've offered me a copy for the coverage. I did it just because I figured a lot of you would be interested in the coverage, number one, and 2, I like West and like hanging out with him. So that's also why we filmed that. And so because of the coverage, they're like, hey, let us know if you want a copy. I'm still so full up with campaign games that I need to put a hard limit on them for my own gaming preferences until I get those done or sold. I'm not allowed to get more campaign games into my house. However, this one is tempting me because I think I could maybe actually play it and then throw out those other ones that I'm not playing. And maybe I should just admit to myself that I'm not playing those other ones and get one that I would be interested in playing instead. Anyway, check that out. It's pretty good. If that interests you, check it out. That finishes Thursday, June 6th at 9 p.m. Let's keep it moving to Backyard Butterfly, which is now funded. Last night when I was doing this, I don't think it had. Let's see what this is. A cozy educational board game that grows with you. Multiple game variations for the young and old. Sure. Ages 4+. All right. So not for me. Well, probably for me, since that's about my limit. All right, I do kind of like that. You have like a solo game, essentially, that you can play with your kid as they learn the basics. And then you have a competitive game where you have all 4 boards out there. There's a caterpillar eating the leaves. And you try to like hunt for monarch eggs. Depending on your roll, you roll the dice, you move, you flip over a leaf tile, you hope to find the eggs. When the egg's found, you place a leaf tile on your milkweed board. It's called an egg tile. Once you found an egg, your caterpillar hatches and it eats its first leaf. Then more leaves get added. You roll 2 dice and then your caterpillar moves to try to eat a leaf. And then it moves to try to eat another leaf. Okay, so you're trying to plan out that sort of counting mechanic for your kids. That might be cute. Well, you want to hatch a butterfly, and then you do it again so you can hatch more butterflies. So the goal is to hatch as many butterflies as possible. Cool, this looks cute enough. What's the actual game? $30. $30, 41? Yeah, okay. Shipping is around $12 to the US, so 42, $28 to Canada, so 58 is like 70. Nah, my nephews don't deserve this. They can stick with their little squirrel game where they flick the little spinner wheel and hope a color comes up. You get that. Instead of anything maybe strategic. Well, it's just rolling and counting too. I think it does look cool though, so maybe if you're in the US and you got kids, that might be interesting to them, or maybe they'll have outgrown it by the time it gets to them. Who knows? It's the tough part with kids' games. But that finishes Thursday, June 6th at 11:59 p.m. Moving along to Regicide Legacy. Lead your party through 12 unique missions, unlock exciting rewards, and discover the secrets of corruption. So Regicide is just a game that you can play with a deck of cards, and obviously they've done a Legacy version. I know people enjoyed it quite a bit. I'd seen it pop up on like the hotness for Board Game Geek a little, and maybe this is also just a better version of that. Let's see what it adds. That was a nice video. Really well done. It's a challenging cooperative card game. There's 12 perilous missions. Yeah, this does seem cool. Regicide Legacy, oof, $93 Canadian, 78 US. Yeah, I get it, because you've got 12 different campaigns, 12 different scenarios. Rulebook, yeah. Gameplay. Play cards to attack the enemy. The number on the card determines the strength of the attack, and the class provides a special power. If you and your friends have dealt enough damage to defeat the enemy, then you move on to the next one. If not, the current enemy strikes back. Defeat the final enemy, you're victorious. Upon defeat, you recruit a temporary aid of a powerful mercenary, so it helps buff you. You start the adventure with a party of 40. You get to know the whole crew. My favorite is Dinky. Yeah, it's definitely Dinky. Or Wayne. Or Duck. Well, all the animals, obviously, because animals are just better than humans in general. So 1 to 10, and maybe a few friends along the way, or a lot more than a few. Adding stickers, you'll be presented with choices of what to power up, a customized deck by the end of the campaign. After the campaign's completed, you've got Eternal Mode with your finished party deck. It has variable setup, so it's got a bunch of challenges, great. And you get a reset box, which is great. Where's your rule book? Ugh, Regicide, what are you doing to me? You're getting me excited, and then you don't give me a rule book. 50 New Zealand to New Zealand, 18 USD. Oh, nice. Thanks for putting it in Canadian. 29 Canadian for shipping. So for me, it'd be about $120 for this thing, which doesn't want to let me read the rules. Fantastic. There is a how to play little video, so I'm going to check it out here. But, like, come on, be better. Rules for Mission 1 are apparently almost the same as regular Regicide, so it's just assuming that you know Regicide going in. Doesn't really care if you don't, I guess. Can't talk about the cards in your hand, which I like. This is also important. It shows what the class does. Would have been great to have that out there. Heal from discard, draw a card, double damage, reduce enemy strength. All right. Oh, that's kind of cool. You discard whatever their strength is, then you discard cards equal to that value. So they discarded an 8 and a 3 because that makes up to 11 because the strength of this is 10. Interesting. And that's a good flow in terms of if you kill an enemy, you then have to face the next enemy. So everybody is essentially taking damage at some point on their turn, and it's just how you weather that damage and how you heal up, etc. Yeah, it seems fine. I don't think it seems like $100 game. I think the regular Regicide is likely okay. Who knows what these new scenarios are going to add? If you believe in Regicide, I guess you're a huge fan. You assume that it's going to add exciting new twists. No idea what those twists are because it's Legacy, right? And they don't have the rulebook for me to even look ahead and tell you if they're cool or not, which I would be happy to do. But if that interests you, that finishes Friday, June 7th at 12 a.m. We're going to keep moving to the Secrets of Zorro, a cooperative board game. Take up the mask and sword as Zorro's heirs in this swashbuckling co-op adventure for 1 to 4 players full of secrets and ambushes. Sure. I love when videos tell me nothing about the game and just waste my time. But here's the game, at least. Work together as Zorro's heirs to topple the governor before his dastardly scheme succeeds. You'll need to hone your vigilant prowess. Nope, your vigilante prowess, sharpening your cunning and combat skills with the lessons Zorro taught you and the secrets he left. You'll have fight to protect his legacy of justice. During the day, go uncover as a local noble, gather intel by interrogating various soldiers. This will reveal key events to come in the night ahead, and then use the intel to set up ambushes. Cool. Unrevealed events might still take you by surprise. You beat up baddies, use your attacks to defeat soldiers, stop convoys, stop the governor's plans. I see there's little cards of attack damage and spread. Once there are no more soldiers, the governor will have no other choice but to fight you himself, defeat him to free the people from his tyranny. Cool. Yeah, that's potentially fun. And then there's an expansion, The People's Hope. Take part in even more dangerous nightly events, defeat even more stronger foes, and put your more cunning to the more test. Discover new allies, spark a revolution. So basically a bunch of the same stuff. Just more. Honestly, my favorite type of expansion. If you like the game and you want more in different variation, that's my favorite thing to do. And then there's a collector's box, because of course there is. Obtain a set of 12 standees, 3 for each character, featuring players in their daytime clothes. Perfect for total immersion. Read the rulebook, yes please. I want to think about the attacks. That's what I'm interested in. Governor's plan counter reaches a certain spot. Yeah, I want to see how the attacking works, and I want to see the sort of game cycle is what I'm looking for. Day story card, distribute the indicated rewards, replace market, distribute events face down, then you place your locations around. Evening, you possibly add soldiers, depending upon the governor's plan. 1 character token from each player on a road, you reveal event cards, and then you have, so you set yourself up, and then there's the combat. Or resolve events where no character tokens are present, which will probably advance the governor's plan, right? Like if there's a convoy running through thematically, if you didn't stop that convoy, well then the governor's closer to winning their plan. Tip, during the first night, unity is strength. Don't try to spread out too much. Okay, that's probably good. Good advice. Yeah, combat, page 18. Ignored events, resolve the events on the road where no characters are present. The events are counted as lost, like we expected. Cool, all the day locations, so it's a little bit of worker placement in the day, and then a fight at night. I actually think this looks quite fun. The more players there are, the fewer attacks you know at the start of the game. Don Diego had less time to teach each of you combat. Dang it, if only Antonio Banderas hadn't taken up all the time. Anthony Hopkins could have taught me. Soldiers must be defeated in order, so you have an order. Each attack hits a certain number of targets, represented by the target icon, with a certain power. Boom. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the tactics of like who it hits who. It's literally just first, second, and third in line. A little less exciting with that tactical, like balancing out, okay, I'm going to deal 3 damage here to the middle, and then they're going to shrink, and I can do 2. But it's still kind of fun. Like, you know, a 3% difference in interesting tactics. Yeah. How much are you just for the base? Retail version of Secrets of Zorro and Carry On Zorro's Legacy. €33, 49 Canadian. Nice. Is that in 401 games? Let's see. Doesn't seem like I could find it. I want board game. No, Secret Hitler is not what I'm looking for. So yeah, I'd check your local store if you're interested. I don't know. But it seems pretty decent. How much is shipping? And here are the people, it's the same shipping. So 20 US, 30 Canadian. So now it's $80 for me. Nah. But for like $40, I would look to see if it's at retail. I think this looks actually pretty neat. Simple, easy co-op does exactly what it's going to say. You're going to build your deck as you go through. If you're interested in that, it finishes Friday, June 7th at 1 p.m. Moving along, oh yeah, I'd just like to shout other creators out. The Secret Cabal Gaming Podcast is out of control in 2024 with more weekly tabletop gaming podcasts and other irreverent nonsense. So there you go, it's raised quite a lot of money. Over 100 hours of irreverent nonsense. You want over 100 hours of irreverent nonsense? Just tune into Crowdfunding Countdown alone. It's over 140 hours, I'd say, because they're average an hour. But there you go, 10 hosts. 10 hosts. and you can get some rewards and some promo stuff. I mean, promo stuff is never worth it unless you just want to support them, right? Like, but there you go. You can get some promos, or if you want a Terraforming Mars and Arc Nova promo, you can just come to the World Series of Board Gaming. Yeah, little legacy promo pack, $20 if you wanted to support a podcast. If you listen to them, go check them out. I've never really listened to them, so I can't tell you what they are, but I know they've been around for a while, so people like them. And they got a Kickstarter, and it shows that people support them, so they must be doing something good. We're going to move along to Degenesis Clan Wars. Take your place in the war for humanity's survival. Degenesis Clan Wars is an asymmetric 2 to 5 player skirmish game set in an apocalyptic vision of Europe in the year 2598. Become the hostile and command your swarm to destroy the protectorate, or take up the mantle of the operatives, dying to defend it. Good luck. Sure. Let's check this one out. I mean, it is Come I like Come games generally, so let's see. Well, that's the most terrifying video I've ever seen. Degenesis, tactical asymmetric skirmish war game. Everything I don't like. That's not true. I love asymmetric. I love tactics. Skirmish war game, I could do without. Dark, gritty, lethal, punishing. I mean, if this is your jam, this seems like a cool jam so far. Just a nice, subtle, cool, in the fridge raspberry jam. The operatives. The hostile. Weak alone, unstoppable en masse. So it's the Zerg. The campaign, Rage Across branching, choice-driven campaign. How's it a campaign when it's head-to-head skirmish? I don't know, I guess we'll find out. Grow in strength as you recruit new allies to your side. 140 pages, 28 missions. Both sides play to win and play to kill. Assemble the battlefield from individual scenarios. No two maps are the same. Okay, so that's the little campaign. You probably just add in additional, like, loadouts and additional operatives. This does look cool. Dang, this looks like gritty as all get out. Frontline recruit, 125 US, 174 Canadian. Healer, crowd control, area denial. Expert scout, aggressive, supporting technophiliac. Okay, gameplay. Let's go to gameplay. Going to war, field setup. Double-sided sectors. 2 themes depict a journey into uncharted territory. Okay. You choose your intel, you choose your little bonus. You get some tarot cards with the power to twist fate. So just one-time use cards. Every mission matters, we swear. Well, yeah, you're playing a game. You want to win. That's cool. This terrain. Blank. No joy. Number contributing to a total sun, and then immediate failure. Oof, cool. So you can get up to 5, but you might just fail. Great. Low risk, low reward. Better but riskier. The big leagues. But you probably have 2 sides. Yeah. Cool. Every operative is a dice pool for each side of their dashboard, so everybody rolls different stuff. Every hostile unit has their own fighting pool. But like, who is this for? 2 players? 2 to 5 players? What? It's cooperative? It's 2 to 5 player skirmish game, but I'm confused. That has a campaign, but also maybe you're all the operatives and then you just get these reinforcements. Okay, so you can flip during the game, maybe? That's a cute little take. Okay, so it's a 1 versus all. It's a 1 versus all, that's why it can be 2 to 5. Everybody can play their own operative. It's a 2-player game. Great. Great. Okay, so it's the exact same system as that Masters of the Universe, where there's a flow of you get tokens. If you spend those tokens, then the hostile, the overseer, gets to do it. Okay, tactical advantages depending upon where you are. If you like terrain on your map and interacting with that terrain, the hostiles forces know this terrain better than the operatives, and they're able to blend in. You have to reveal them, you reveal who they are. Yeah, this feels like a blend of a lot of different command games. Cool. I like the different orientations of the boards, though. How there's this one, like kind of like the L shape that's going to come up, right? Oh, maybe I'll never. Right there. That was it. Rulebook. Oh, yeah. And I want to see the mission booklet on this one, too. Love that that's available. Great job. Come on. And then shipping, because it's come on, will be expensive. 38 to the US, 47 to Canada. So 38, it was 125. It's going to be 165 to get this game. See, this is great. Just have it available so you can see the mission. Field layout, hostile, great. You can split back and forth. It shows you the flow of what you're going to encounter, which way you go. Hold the line following the trail or too close for comfort. You're going to really split off here. Cool. I like this split. I like that it shows you the number of missions, too. Operative objective. Slaughter the cockroaches before they can penetrate into the weakened interior of the protectorate and do the same with its citizens. 5 cockroaches must die through any means to disintegrate the rear guard. Not a single operative may be killed, or the squad will be marked as ineffective and sent back to Justitian, the capital of Protectorate in shame. Well, also, and in dead. In dead, more likely. They'll be sent back in dead. Not in debt. That's you whenever you back a command game, but just in dead. So that's why they were really hyping up. Listen, everybody can play. Like, there's not just one person who's playing. Like, when you're taking control of the other people, you're having fun too. That's what they're trying to emphasize. I think this is a 2-player game. One person will control the operatives, the other person will control the other people. Right? It's probably best served as that. Let's take a little look at the rulebook just to see. There's a lot going on here, so I'm not going to read through everything, but I think I have a pretty basic feeling of how this game will play. I'm not as interested in it because, again, I don't like terrain checks. I don't really care about that wargamey skirmish style. I think it's fine, but it doesn't like turn my crank, and it doesn't get me excited enough to back it. I really, really like the art and the theme, though. And it does feel like it's going to be an easy flow. You're going to choose your dice. Each operative has their own dice and abilities that you're going to have to work with in terms of how they attack and their hand of cards in which they'll use special abilities. So maybe you could play this with more than 2 people. But here's the hostile screen. It consists of 2 components, the Legion board and the scheming board. Here's your little scheming board. And this shows you what all of your people do as well. The rank of the Legion, what they roll, what dice they roll, and where they're at. In the core box campaign, the hostile controls the Cockroach Clan, a feral swarming of cannibal warriors, fueled by the worship of their ancestral totem. Oh my god, look at that. This is just disgusting, but like really cool. Very scary. I like this. The intel phase, you get your choices, you choose your roster of operatives, 1 to 4 operatives. Constructed from unlocked operatives. Some operatives may have special conditions, cool. And then you're always going to be the Cockroach Clan if you're the other person basically running the game. But this is why it's a 2-player game, right? It's a 2-player game. And it's a dead, like, if they die, if your operatives die, they are out of the campaign, which is kind of fun. Yeah, this looks fun. I think there's a lot here that is exciting. I like the tarot cards. I like the abilities. Oh, I thought this rulebook was going to be longer because I saw 50 pages, but it's including the double-sided. That's great. Yeah, standard things you can do in your action phase: move, scout, flip their dashboard, so you can do that flipping back and forth. Great. Pick up any number of items, trade items. Ugh, I hate that. I hate using an action to trade items. You're not going to do it. Activate mission-specific effects. Run around, skirmish, fight each other, all based upon the risk-reward of the dice. Chuck dice at each other, use the terrain effectively, and hope you roll out on top. Oh, it doesn't show us anything more than the first scenario, but that's okay. That's kind of all we want. Yeah, I quite like this. I like it more than I was expecting to. Well, maybe not. I do like command games. Like, I think they're solid. What do you get? Like, what is in the box? Let's see. The Frontline Recruit. This is the base one. Core box contents. 13 operatives. Cool. 15 feeders, 30 swarmers, 6 warriors, 6 champions. Oh god, these champions are so scary. 9 neutrals. Maybe you can recruit, maybe not. Operative sleeves, double-sided boards, items, swarm cards, tokens. These tokens look a bit wood. That's good. Of course, it being command, you will not have a spot to store these tokens in your bag. You absolutely won't. In your box, you absolutely won't have that. 18 dice. Yep. Yeah. I mean, it seems fun. Seems like a zombicide, you know? Oh, cool. And you get a bunch new operatives as well. So you don't just get 13. So you're going to have a lot to go through. That's important. Yeah, I like this. I think it's expensive, and I'm not going to get it, or am even contemplating getting it. But I think for the people who enjoy this style of game, I think it will hit decently well. So that finishes on the 7th at 9 p.m. We're going to keep moving because we still have a lot to go through. I need to edit. Oh gosh. So let's keep it moving. Let's see if I can get through these last few quicker. This one might be the longest one yet. Although I say that every time, but maybe this time I'm right. Honestly, when I saw this as I thought it was going to be just a joke one, but this might be the greatest thing ever invented. You place your tiles out, and then you go, what's line of sight? I don't know. Let a computer figure it out. And the computer figures it out, and it shows who hits who and what happens. And that's pretty much it. I'm sold. Command your fleet. Just satisfy the sponsors, adapt and refine your tactics based on the active billboards. Okay. Focus on blasting foes. No measuring, no maths. Take a single photo, let the companion app score, and visualize the game outcome for you. And so I thought that was going to be completely unexciting because you're like, well, the app does it, who cares? But honestly, the app does it, who cares? Throw your tiles on the board and see what happens. Batteries. The damage needed to take it down. Okay, so that's your health. Initiative. That's the number, probably. Lower initiative, shoot first. Okay, laser beams. How well can you aim? Because they're going to have things pointing out. Oh, okay, so it'll just read which the direction is. And so it's kind of like a lining up your shot. And if you don't line it up correctly, I think I really like this. Yeah, because you can see the lasers here. So you know where it's going to extend to. And then you take the picture and you see how much it extends out. Watch the battle unfold or jump directly to the final score. Cool. Right to the next battle. Best real-time game. Where's the real-time element? That's what I'm curious about. The app will run through 8 10-second countdowns. During each of them, the players simultaneous reveal and place one tile from their deck anywhere in the arena before time runs out. They can adjust the tile's position and orientation as long as they maintain contact with it, so you've got to hold on to it. Tiles must not overlap, and previously placed tiles cannot be moved. If you haven't completed a placement when a countdown ends, the tile must remain where it is at the moment. I'm in. Honestly, I'm in. I think this looks very funny. This looks very funny, very fun. €25, 38 Canadian, 13 for shipping, and you get an expansion if you wanted to. $13 for shipping, so it's like $50 for this. 25. 25. Oh no, 25, yeah. So $63 for this game. I'm too cheap for that. Let's be real. I'm too cheap for that one and after the shipping to get it to me. But that's just the Canadian tax, you know what I mean? Expansions just add in different spaceships. Oh yeah, I do want to know what the... Okay, I'll go back to the rulebook. Thank you for having it. Where was the rulebook? I just had it. Battle rules. There we go. What do the sponsors have to do? During setup, turn one asteroid face up. Activate a special rule associated with the sponsors. The 5 closest surviving spaceships score 3 points. Okay, cool. So it's just like proximity stuff. Cool, that seems fun. And these just add in additional spaceships. For an additional €12, I don't know if that is going to add to it enough. But honestly, no notes. This looks really funny and a cool idea, and cool that they developed the app for it too. So if you're interested in that, it finishes Saturday, June 8th at 12 a.m. Moving along to Everbloom, a unique blend of area control, resource management, and set collection taking place in a magical world of flora and fauna. Cool, this seems pretty simple. You're going to be bidding on cards, and whoever bids the most, you get the card. Whoever bids the least, you go up and populate these biomes, which you need to use to power up your cards. So you want to win some bids, you want to lose some bids. Very similar to Furnace. 46, 64 Canadian. Items included in this pledge have an estimated MSRP of 72 US. Yeah, sure. Unique blend of area control, resource management, and set collection. I just think it's bidding. Feels like it's just bidding. Place your chips at landmarks and send pollinators to... So you bid and you send pollinators. Then you take the stuff and you populate the groves because you can then create precious nectar. You need to use the groves to activate the hybrid beings that are there so that they score points. Everbloom. Yeah, you don't need deluxe. I mean, I say that all the time, but it's just an insert. Main rulebook. I think I got it. I don't know how there's 28 pages in this rulebook. I think I've got it. I'm interested to see if when you pull your people back, if you must pollinate them at that exact time. There's a bunch of different habitat themes. Okay. Oh, because you have your chips. You're bidding 1 to 5. Yeah. When you place your 4 chip, you're just bidding. Do you like Furnace? Do you want something that is Furnace, but different? With no engine building, just set collection and scoring points? Look at this one. Each biome has a different scoring condition. Oh, you get bloom cards. Okay. You move up the bloom track. You get points for going up the bloom track. So there's multiple ways to get points, not just the set collection. Yeah, spend them to pollinate any hybrid cards in your habitat. So you can build up for your pollination later. And then these are the spots where you place your chips, where you bid, and probably order of operation. Okay, and the spaces where you can get less cards, you can gain a bonus, a wildlife bonus. When you place a faction chip, you put pollinators equal to the value of the chip. Okay, so you're just using those to put them around depending where you are, but with a little bit of play for those wildlife bonuses if you want those particular ones. Like if you're going to drop 5 down here, then you should put it over here, obviously. Till all players have placed their chips. Okay. Yeah, great video. It's exactly what I expected out of it. Shipping is... I'm going to click through. Shipping is 15 to 22 for the USA. What's Canada? 30 to 35. Like, no. It's not a $100 game. I'm fine with Furnace. If this looks interesting to you, you might be interested in Furnace, but you also might be interested in this for the theme. I think the flow here is going to be nice. I think Furnace is quite a good game, and I think this will give a similar feel to that in terms of the bidding. I probably, gut reaction says I'd like Furnace more, but this has an absolutely cute theme. And it's an okay price. I mean, Furnace is cheaper too, honestly. But if that interests you, check it out. The finish is Saturday, June 8th at 1 a.m. Moving along to Mysticana, a foundation deck from Button Shy Games, a pocket-sized multi-game with additional expansion games. Solo and multiplayer options starts at $12. Cool, let's look at this. Button Shy are never games that I'm really that interested in. I'll preface that, but I still like taking a look to see what it's got going on. An 18-card deck includes multiple core games using just the base cards. Deck features cards numbered 1 to 6 across 3 suits, which will have rock, paper, scissors hierarchy. While each game might make use of the deck's design in different ways, the flexible foundation enables new games to fit seamlessly alongside previous entries. The base deck includes rules for 3 core games: 9 Perils, Sorcerer's Showdown, and Path Ahead. 9 Perils is for 1 player. Quick puzzly solo game of arranging a sequence of possible events. Here's the update. Each turn, you'll flip one of the peril cards in the timeline face up, draw a new card into your hand, then play a single card from your hand into a free space in a separate row below any peril card. At the end of the game, from left to right, so you're flipping things up and you're trying to guess what happens. Compare each peril's rank and element against the adjacent card's rank and elements. I don't know why. I mean, I'm glad that they linked it, but like, why don't you just have this on the main page, like, of how to play your game? Don't you want to show how to play your game on the main page? Strange. It's not like it even took up that much real estate. It's very simple. Lay a card down, compare it to its neighbors. At the end of the game, from left to right, compare each peril's rank and element against the adjacent card's rank and element. So adjacent meaning below? I don't know, or is it to the right? Probably down below. It seems like down below they're all beaten, right? Yeah, it's probably down below. All right, Sorcerer's Showdown. That seems uninteresting to me. 2 players, 2 sorcerers, clash in battles. Each spell and counterspell grow less predictable as they wear down. Dueling-like game for 2 players. Dealt 8 cards, choose 6 to battle with, setting aside 2 to hold on to for the next round. Play a card, trick-taking. And if an avatar wins, the avatar wins. This seems like, no offense, but many other Button Shy games have seemed a lot more interesting, let's say. This seems like they were like, oh, a deck of 52 cards? Too much. Let's just play with 18. Shorter. Just shorter. Is it a fun game? I can't tell you. But maybe it is for you. That finishes Saturday, June 8th at 10:30 a.m. We're moving along to Stupor Mundi, Frederick II, Holy Roman Empire. Okay, I'm not reading all this. Let's just find out what it is. Summon allies from across the Mediterranean, build your own castle. Promote specialists to improve your kingdom. Sure. I think it's on Board Game Geek too, so if you wanted to try it out, you could. Let's see. It's calling this a Master Edition. I wonder, has it been made before? 2025. No, it has not. This is it, though. Looks the same. So it's just calling it a Master Edition so that they can charge you more. Or add in, like, the deluxe plastic pieces, which probably in retail might go down to cardboard, which I would probably prefer. Wooden castle pieces, 59. Okay, €59, like that. That's the one that I'm looking at. Oh, 69. The Baron Edition. Oh, it gets PVC plastic castle pieces. That's the only difference? Go with wood. Who cares? Oh, PVC and Sundrop. What a horrible deal that is. Who cares? Sundrop is not worth that €20 for this castle. No, thank you. Yeah, I hate this when companies do this. Prices will increase during the late pledge. I get it, but I hate it. I've hated it back since Black Rose War's rebirth. But here's how to play. On the start of your turn, you can choose to travel. You move your ship 1 to 4 spaces clockwise around the voyage board. So Rondell, first move is free, but you can punch it with money. This defines which markets you can visit and which allies and action cards you have access to. Okay. Then you perform an action. Face up or face down. Face up allows you to perform the action on the card. Face down allows you to perform one of the main actions pointed by the soldiers' spears on the back of the card. Okay, so some might be, unless it's all the same back. It's probably all the same back. Here are the 5 main actions. Promote a specialist. Advance one of your 3 specialists on the different workplaces to unlock powerful advantages. During the gale, as you regale yourself. Trade with locals, buy and or sell resources to help you build structures. Okay. Expand your castle by building towers, walls, and keeps. That will earn you more in income, but allow you to issue edicts and score victory points. Cool. Don't know what the edicts are. We'll find those out. Summon an ally. Oh no. Summon an ally to your castle. Victory points. So, end of game objectives. Purchase an action card. Build up your deck of action cards by purchasing new action cards. Great. Activates on purchase. Awesome. On top of that, one very important part of the game is issuing edicts. Edicts will help you control Frederick II himself. Virtual player that you and your competitors will try to manipulate to their advantage. Hi, honey. Do you like Frederick II? You do. Of course, it is 45 minutes before it is your food time, and that is the time that Artie thinks is his food time. And then you get 2 little mini expansions, which probably don't matter. Please check out sections below to read the rulebooks. Yes, please. Let's take ourselves a little look-see. Seems fairly simple from a Euro standpoint. There is no reason to get anything other than the Vassal edition. I don't know why you're paying $10 extra for this plastic that looks just the same. Have you loaded? No. Yes, I love you so very much. You at home. You at home. I'm not talking to Artie. Don't tell him. You can't even see Artie. Start with 10 action cards. Once you've resolved the actions associated, the next player chooses. They choose to travel or not, then they play an action card. If you don't want to play an action card, then you pass. Once everybody passes, you're done. So specialists are just sort of tech tracks. Cool. When an edict is issued, choose one of the 3 face-up edict tiles on the active edict section. Take the reward, activate all icons on it. Basically, it's about building Frederick's castle, which lets you do certain things. Why would you want to add or remove items from Frederick's Palace? Yes, it depends on the allies you summon during the game. Loyalist allies provide victory points based upon what Frederick has in his castle, while independent allies provide victory points based upon what you have in your castle. Okay, so just your end objective goals, you're manipulating that. And so that's where you have that give and take of your people, is manipulating those end of the game goals. I see that's what you're going for, I can remove it, etc. Cool, okay, and everything you build helps you do more things. Additional allies, additional resources that you can hold. Cool, the flow of this feels pretty simple. It's going to be just getting those allies, getting the income, chaining things together. This looks fun. Like a very nice dry Euro. If you like dry Euros, this is definitely one of them. And I think as dry Euros go, I think this Rondell section might be interesting in terms of pushing what actions you can do, what things you're going to do, getting additional allies, pushing that tableau, and moving up on some tracks. I think I'd probably rather play something like a Lorenzo, if I'm completely honest. But €9 shipping, so for me, well, it would probably be this, 104 for the full game with the wood, because that's about the difference. It's not worth 104 for me. This is like a $60, $50 game again, but when it's out in retail, maybe something worth looking at. That finishes on the 8th at 12 p.m. We're going to keep moving as fast as we can to Berserkers, Chaos Extension. Berserkers is back. I never knew it left. Let's see. Great, thank you for that nothing burger. Expansion that will enrich your game. 6 new cards to enrich the rewards of the villagers. 6 new King Request cards to experience fresh new adventures. I think I covered this at one point, right? Should I just go watch past Chris? Probably. Yeah, you're going to roll some dice. I think this is very similar to that other one about trees. Let's see if I spelt it right. Yeah, that's what I thought. About a year ago. 2023, a year ago. Loan edition. Let's see what Past Chris had to say about it. I think I remember. Look at that. Past Chris remembered that we've also covered it. It's almost the same thing. Yeah, okay, great. I know what this game is. There's no pictures for me to show you about, so I guess we'll go back to the rulebook. Here's the core, the 4 action cards. You roll 4 dice and you choose where they're going to be allocated on those 4 dice. And then you're going to have a grid of cards where you're moving around and you're trying to conquer stuff, I think. Your game objective is to light the 8 protective fires of Odin and mark 3 Shadow Riders with the Sacred Seal. Move your Berserkers to location cards that contain a light symbol, then perform a light protective fire action, which is over here. So you're maneuvering them around, you're lighting the actions, and trying to do that before the deck runs out or you get too swarmed by stuff. I thought the actions looked interesting the last time it was around. I also think it's way too expensive for what it is. They had this about an Yggdrasil sort of game, and I think a couple people out there might have backed it and enjoyed it, so drop in the comments if you did. If you're interested in that, that finishes Sunday, June 9th at 2:02 p.m. I mean, Full Sauna was a real thing. Why wouldn't Toothead be? Toothead, don't let them eat ya. Sneaky moves, a lot of fighting, a family-friendly game, also great for parties. Next party I'm going to, of course, I've got to bring Toothead. Renee will be very upset that I'm referring to her by our pet nickname on the screen. All right, it's a last man standing, sorry, last toot standing. How much are you going to be? 39 euros, 58, and plus shipping, it's like $80 of this take that card game where you're trying to eat each other. Which, the theme is funny. These little slices of you that you can pull off is very funny to me as you see yourself being gobbled up. 6 double-sided tokens making fights fast and convenient. Sure. Bunch of weapons, special cards, hit cards, play them on each other. Is that what RTFM stands for? Read the friggin' manual? Hi, sweetie. Oh God, is that the time? Jesus. This is why you cut corners, people. This is why you don't, like, why am I doing this? Cut this corner. I can't. What if there's a cool mechanic in here that I didn't see? There won't be. But what if? 2 actions. You can move, you can draw a game card, you can play a game card, perform an attack. I don't know why you're moving, because there's different spots you can get stuff on the board, I think. So you can just give up your fight. That's what this bribery is. It isn't bribe. You have meat, and they attack you, so you just take the meat. But then at least you don't die. No, there's nothing. There's nothing there. Very nasty, yeah. USA 15, Canada 22. Yeah, so it's like an $80, $90 game. Let's be honest with ourselves. But it's funded, so that's fun. I really like the art. Like the art style. So there you go. That finishes Sunday, June 9th at 6 p.m. Let's keep it moving. We're so close. We're so close. And now, of course, we have 2. Masters of Maple Syrup and Downstream. Manage a maple farm and explore a riverbank in these cozy pocket-sized games for 2. Let's see what they're all about. Sorry, a boot. Cool. Both of these look decently cute. I think Downstream looks more exciting. Masters of Maple Syrup, 22 Canadian. Price is right. There are 3 central actions of tapping your trees and then harvesting your trees. So you turn your tree and then you turn it back and then you harvest it. You get that maple syrup, and then you also develop to build stuff. But whatever action you take, your opponent also gets to take a bottom version of that. So it's a follow mechanic. Artie is being funny. But you can't see. You don't get to see them. Yeah, which seems kind of neat. I do like the follow mechanic. When the 3 actions have been used, they reset before the next player's turn. Oh, okay. Oh, great. So when I choose tap, then you have to harvest and develop. Great. I like that a lot. Boil your sap into syrup. Lets you draw cards. The more productive the tree, the more cards it'll let you draw. Okay, cool. And then time to improve your farm. You need to develop your property. So you play the cards, and they're worth points at the bottom, I think. And you have 10 cards on your property. Tally your score, yeah. So the points are at the bottom there. Yeah, I like this. 2nd edition, 18 new cards, variant actions for the more aggressive Rivals edition. Harder to benefit from your neighbor's actions. Cool. I think that was very clear. Very, very clear, actually, in Downstream, 24 Canadian. I think this is also very clear as well. You're creating a river, you draw a card, and you can place it either at the end of the river or underneath something that you already have. You're trying to score objectives, which are randomized, and the person who gets the highest score wins. But depending upon where this canoe is, that's the only stuff you can add to, I think. So you couldn't add to these 3 cards prior to that canoe. Oh, cool. They're also double-sided cards, and so you can draw from the bottom of the deck. So if you flip over a lot of like a great basic formula, and then we look into it a little bit more. Really, really nice for pocket-sized game. And you always have to connect at least 1 terrain color when placing a card. So if you're stacking cards, it has to match the terrain color. Can only be placed in the same space as a canoe or Downstream. Yeah, lots of little tweaks that just make me enjoy it a lot more. I think both of these actually look quite nice. I think I've seen Reforest before, which I thought was okay, but these actually feel a lot better than Reforest, if I'm remembering correctly. 1 game, 2 games, 22 Canadian. So if you want to get all of them, it's like $60, so $30 each, right? 46, well, okay, more than $60. That's what math is, $68. So 35 each. Again, that feels a bit pricey, but I actually think both of those look quite nice as little pocket games. So if you're in the mood for a pocket game, check it out. Check both of these out. I think they both look quite nice. I think I'm still inclined for Downstream, but I really like that each action can only be used once and then reset, so you can kind of have that back and forth with Masters of Maple Syrup. I think both look good. That finishes Sunday, June 9th at 9 p.m. Moving along to this, which I was going to skip, but I just moved ahead. It's Greenlight. It's Cards Against Humanity, making a log line of a show. Funniest show wins. There you go. You wanted to make a movie. The studio head favorites and Greenlights by handing the winner that round's character card. So if you want to just laugh at some little funny cards, you can. It's $20. Is it a funny card game? That means it is. You can check that out. That finishes Sunday, June 9th at 11:59 p.m. Moving along to Thorgal, the card game, which I think we've already covered as well. There's been so many friggin' Thorgal games. Maybe this was on GameFound? Okay, there's a Thorgal RPG. There's just Thorgal. So maybe not. Now there's Thorgal, the card game. Fantastic. I wasn't interested in the previous two, and I doubt I'll be interested in this one. But let's see. Tell me the mechanics. Don't give me just the theme. Without mechanics, your video's garbage. And maybe it's because I didn't listen. It's by that was by the Jonas Brothers. One of their lesser known hits. I think they stole it from Gotya. Unique 2-deck system featuring Face Deck, allowing the active player. I don't know why I think that's so funny. Oh, Fate. It's a Fate deck. It's definitely a Fate. Featuring that well-known Face Deck to conquer the lands represented on the cards, and the Bang deck, Bane. It's a Bane. The Face and Bang decks. That's a different game. Which other players employ to oppose and increase the difficulty level of their journey. That's nonsense. Is it an extraordinary card game? Who can tell? Yes, I do prefer to read the rulebook on my own, thank you. Choose 4 factions. Alternate between the Face deck and the Bane deck. Capture strategically important locations. Or prevent your opponent from doing so. So, okay, I think it's like Air, Land, and Sea. Everything's like Air, Land, and Sea. I've never played it, but everything's like Air, Land, and Sea. Okay, single-use cards, not single-use cards, and then the lands. As we finish this up, yeah, my sweet boy. So each land has some symbols that you need to play to win it. And you also have companions that can oppose this land without spending any resources. So different faction symbols. Okay, so everybody's faction has their own unique destiny cards, bane cards, and land cards. That's cool. You choose 1 or 2 companions, you play them. So you have the God's Face, then you have Dawn, Journey, Dusk. Draw cards, play cards, play cards, play cards. Cool, so you go back and forth being the destiny player and the bane player, I think. And you just play destiny cards to try to win. The opponent plays bane cards, then you flip. A unique dual deck. No, you just play 2 phases. No, maybe not. Haha, step 4, switching roles in round end. Destiny and Bane. Yep, it's almost like I've been through this game before. This is a tough one to evaluate, right? Like, it's very tough. If you like that back and forth battling system, if you like Watergate, maybe, feels along the lines of I will have cards and you will have cards to respond. They all will have their own kind of synergy, and you don't know how that synergy is going to react from the rulebook because you don't get to see all the cards, right? You can't theorize about what's going to happen here. So for 39, which is 58 Canadian, plus 20 euros to Canada, so it's like $90 Canadian. It's like, why would I ever take a real risk on this when other head-to-head card games exist, right? Even though it isn't like Yu-Gi-Oh, it's got this back and forth element where you're managing 2 different decks, but these 2 different decks feel very separate to each other because you play Bane when to just kind of counteract someone. It's like they made a solo game and then they just said, okay, now 2 people do it because we need someone to automate like half of it. And let's make it competitive, right? It doesn't seem bad. For the price, it doesn't seem interesting to me. I think that back and forth flopping might be cool, and I think it all depends on the cards, which unfortunately I don't really know about. But if you're interested in that, the finish is Tuesday, June 11th at 11:08 a.m. And that's it for this week, but I'm going back to this one because I saw it in a comment as I was doing this. I skipped this because I thought, oh, nobody's going to miss me skipping one of these print and plays. And of course, that's when I get a comment about it. So I'm going to take a quick look at this for this $5 print and play to finish this off, and then, man, we'll be done this one. That was a lot. Yeah, there's a little bit interesting here. I swear, if you don't have a rulebook, oh yeah, it does. Print and play for the makers of Spies and Beards and Booty. Around the world in 10 to 15 minutes. You're exploring the globe. You're going to have this map, and a player will be the navigator. The navigator essentially gets to choose what action everybody's taking, and they get to do it twice, essentially. And so you can move, you can travel, you can explore to see history, or you can purchase souvenirs depending where you're at, and you score points by traveling. So if you want to navigate and move twice, you can. If you want to take both souvenirs, you can, etc. So the idea comes from you wanting to be the navigator and just doing the action that gets you the most points. However, completing your trip might get you points as well. So let's see what that is about. Yeah, you're going to be crossing this out. I think as the navigator, that looks kind of cool. The ability to do each action twice is interesting. If you made it back to your starting city, score 3 bonus points. Note, you must visit all 3 destinations on the continent to count this. Count what? Points for the number of continents that you visited. It seems like the travel doesn't matter whatsoever. It's going to be more about sort of like route optimization. It seems like exploring and souveniring is the best, and you want to pull the trigger of your travel. Oh, although, visiting all 3 places in Europe, that travel can give you a bunch of points too. So everything gets you points, yeah. I was worried the travel wouldn't be scored as effectively as getting souvenirs, but seems like it might be if you're really bouncing around, trying to find that efficiency. For $5, doesn't seem bad. That's my opinion. Doesn't seem bad for $5. So that is it. That's it for this very long week. Every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing that I think is the most interesting. We got a lot to choose from here. And the pick for you being the thing that I think if you got, you would regret the least. So let's go through what we see. I mean, obviously the pick for me is the one that I'm backing, which is my 200,000th campaign. Yeah, 200,000. You heard that right. I didn't speak incorrectly. It's 200,000. But let's go through them because honestly, I forget. Yeah, look cool. Meh, meh, meh. Garbage. Fine. Cool. Contender. Fine. Fun enough. Contender. Contender because I'm backing it because of the beautiful honor. Honestly, contender. Fine. Cool. 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 Fine. Meh. Decent. Meh. Meh. Good. A lot of potential, but you know what I'm going with? I'm going with the pick for me being the Secrets of Zorro. I think the pick for me is going to be Zorro. There was something about this that seemed really, really neat, slick. I like the potential beginning phase as you prepare. There's some nice randomness there. Seems like the fights are going to be fun. Yeah, I think the pick for me is going to be the Secrets of Zorro. Pick for you, I think, is going to be, I've got 2. If you want a lighter game, we've got Masters of Maple Syrup and Downstream. I think these actually also look solid. This could be a potential pick for me as well. And then, oh man, this Dutch one looked good too. Dang, and Rove does look good. Sure, let's have both of those be the pick for me, and then we'll do both of these as the pick for you. I think depending upon who you are, right? Co-op, pick up and deliver, I thought that one looked good. And I think Rove looked pretty good too. I don't know which ones are my top. Probably Zorro and Maple Syrup, because I like cheaper, smaller games, but I like the potential of Rove. I just can't pick it for me because I have too many campaign games. And this one does look really, really slick if it's your style, right? Like I think a lot of these are, if it's your specific style of game, I think it's not going to be for everybody. But I think this one does look really cool too. It is expensive. So yeah, they're all kind of expensive. I think maybe value you get Rove a little bit more. Even like the Degenesis look good as I'm friggin' all over the place here. I don't know. Big for me and you is just Downstream. Just get a pocket game. Who knows? That's it. That's it for the week. But I was going to tell you about the cute little thing that I'm making for Renee. And so I made this poster. Today I think today should be her birthday when this comes out. So hopefully she doesn't watch. She never watches. Come on, let's be real. But I made this poster because we saw these cat posters about cats where they say not all angels have wings, some have whiskers, and we didn't buy it. And so I made like a metal one. And then I decided to add wings because I think it's very funny that the poster's saying not all angels have wings, but these are angels, and then they also have wings. I just think it's so stupid. But yeah, anyway, I made that. So that's what I'll leave you off with. Let me know what you're backing, what you're not. This is a big week, so go away and touch grass. I love you all. If you made it this far and you didn't hit the like button, give yourself a little spanking. And do it now. Thanks again for everybody always supporting, subscribing, liking, and of course to my Patreon members. You let me spend the time that I do on these, and this one was a long one. I hope you all have an amazing day. My name is Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase, but I do have hungry kitties. Hey buddy, you want to see the people? Just want to sit on the chair. He just wants to sit on the chair. There you go. There they are. I'll see you later.